Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve. We'll help you monitor your progress and give personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals and find your way to money. Make sure you're on the right track, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
The time is here.
It's here. Are y'all nervous like we were?
No, I'm not nervous. I'm more excited. We've been waiting for this
too.
for
a long time.
Yeah. We're excited.
Yeah, so I'm excited to have you guys on Cate Ty break it down. We're just gonna break some stuff down. That's what we do, you know what I mean?
Yes, we're pretty good at it.
Maybe
dance.
So
Maybe dance a little.
I could totally.
maybe a little jiggle, maybe a little twerking.
I don't know about the twerking, okay? But maybe one day.
I appreciate you guys coming on, though. I really do. I'm like, I feel honored. I'm like, you got Maci, you got Natalie, just met you,
Yes,
but hey,
first
you know what I
time
mean?
you too.
No, we're
Thank you.
very excited. I'm interested to know what y'all want to know about us.
Well, first off, how did you guys get connected? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So I am in radio. That's always been my profession. We actually went to Chattanooga State together, but at different times, but in the same program.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
okay.
I obviously grew up loving Maci, watching the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you watched the show before?
Yes.
Before you met her?
She would always tell me when we first really got to know each other, she's like, "You're the reason I didn't get pregnant as a teenager."
Literally, I was scared out of my mind because I would
We did something right.
I'm glad
We did something right.
scared out of my
Look at us.
mind.
Yeah,
That is
good.
why I did not lose my virginity in high school. But so I've always been in radio, and she was at an event who Big Al was there, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to meet him? Get a picture with him?" And so they did, and I just emailed her business account with the picture because I figured she'd want it. And literally a few months later, she was like, "Hey, I want to talk about PCOS on the radio," because I didn't know it at the time, but we both suffer from PCOS.
Yeah,
Oh, you guys-
PCOS Awareness Day.
Okay, so you guys both have PCOS, and that's kind of how the whole little bridge happened.
Yeah. So
wow.
she came on my radio show. We did a segment. It was on the show. And then a few years went by, and we just stayed in touch on social media, really. And I just put out on socials one day, I was like, would anyone be interested in a true crime podcast based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee?
Like, would you listen to
Would
it?
you listen
Right.
to it? Yeah. And I was just going to do it. And she commented, and she was like, call me right now. And so I called her, and that's kind of how it was born.
I'm like, I'll be your
I want to do
co-host.
it. Yeah.
Well, plus, you're just like me. I'm very intrigued by the whole murder mystery stuff and unsolved cases and stuff like
Yes.
that. So I'd be jumping on that train too.
And then I'm pretty sure our professor that we both had in college, commented something on it and was like, something along the lines of oh, I see some things in the works, knew that's what, when I said, call me. He was
for
he
sure.
already knew. He was like, this is going to happen.
You're like, I got my
We're
professor
getting
blessing.
together.
We're doing it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
so then-
That's been awesome too. When we first started out, any equipment from the media technologies department that they have, if they're upgrading, they'll always we can just be like, hey, do y'all have any of these you're not using?
Oh, wow.
They've been very, very helpful and supportive, which is awesome. Just means were we good students or bad students?
I think that means good. I was going to say.
I was going to say, your professor is,
Yeah.
I think that
sounds like
means
you're
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, that's funny. So just through networking, networking.
Networking,
Yeah.
networking. I kind of like that way.
Doesn't it sound better?
It kind of does, yeah.
People will tend to know that I have issue with some big
So
words.
it's
I can't help it, and then I gotta
which
look at
is
him.
compartmentalizing.
Yeah, it's my brain doesn't work that great.
What was
I need
it?
to slow down and
She does a lot of Siri.
Oh, for sure.
She'll be type in, she'll be reorganize.
Yeah.
Okay.
I struggle
What
with
was
the spelling
it earlier?
and the speaking.
Acidity?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Great example. I can't speak sometimes, just the big words or whatever. So that's cool. So through all that, then Expired was
it's kind
born,
of
huh?
And you have experience in radio, so
Yeah,
you kind of think about it, podcasting is pretty much
Radio on steroids.
Right. So I mean, you guys have a little bit.
I'm radio, she's TV. We come together, made a great podcast.
Podcasting is exactly what we both do with a little less regulation.
Yeah.
and limitations.
That's funner,
Way funner.
Definitely.
especially it's kind of nice too to just do something outside of the TV world, you know, that's different.
Yes.
And we can talk more in depth about certain things. I think that's what really drove me and Ty to want to do it, is because we can go more in depth in certain situations of our lives. And, you know, I mean, yours is different because you're covering cases, but
in the same way, people didn't know you were into true crime as much as you are. So then now you're able to kind of showcase with the podcast platform that, hey, you didn't know this about me, but you know, here I am. Like, it's awesome.
I'm a queen sleuther.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now, if there's any rumors you need to squash, you can always hit Ty and I up, and we'll just keep bringing you on.
Oh,
Totally. There you go.
Anytime.
You know, because
there's plenty of those.
Yeah, and because, I mean, you think about it, like, we've been on a TV journey with each other for 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been friends for that long.
Literally.
We've been through hell and back.
Everything, yeah.
You know, and it's cool to be able to do something different.
Yes.
With you.
And together. It's
yes.
really cool.
Other
Seeing
than
each other in a different, whether we're in pajamas eating pizza or filming.
Right.
You know,
right.
like either or. So this is like cool doing something different.
And it's one of those things where it's the only thing that we, like, no one else knows this experience of being on TV for 15 years, raising kids. Which I have to say, it's like one of those things where it's like people don't get that we are doing the most triggering, vulnerable,
precious
thing
artist
with the world just criticizing and literally focal pointing on our parenting, which is the most, I mean, nothing brings out your claws more than someone judging your kids or judging your parenting style. So it's
100%.
like, I don't think people get the scope of intensity and how hard it really is.
that our show is. That's all it's about.
And to remain authentic throughout as well.
Yep.
Like knowing that just helping one person makes up for all the 500,000 dickwads that are hating on you. You know what I mean? Like just to help the one person or be relatable for one person.
Yeah, but it takes a special, like, I don't know, perseverance, character, whatever, to be able to just kind of, you know, eliminate or try to, like, filter out 500 negative comments just to get the one positive point across to somebody else. Like, it's difficult. I mean, it takes a special kind of tenacity to be able to, like, handle all of it because it's difficult, especially about parenting. It's like nothing gets you more fired up than someone judging your parenting. And when you think about it, that's what our whole jobs have been.
Yeah.
They've been judging our parenting.
Yes.
That's why our job requires the judgment of viewers. And it's like, it's hard.
That's why most of the time I say to people, like, well, thank God thank God that these are not your children.
Yeah.
And they're mine.
Right? Exactly.
It's my job, not yours.
I feel like she and I was, when you're not in the TV world and then you do something like this, I remember having to tell her, like, stay out of the comment section. Don't read it. Don't read it.
And I fell for it a few times, and we had conversations, and it's like, no.
It happens.
Well, it's different than radio. You don't have someone, like, on Instagram, like, right away being able to comment on stuff that you're passionate about.
Well, and I mean, if I come as, you know, a co-host, a partner, and now like a best friend to her, but in the beginning it's like, oh, by the way, I also come with a shitload of haters. So,
right.
So welcome.
Well, how did you navigate that? Did you see it?
Just trial and error. She would be like, don't look at the comments, and I would obviously look at them because that's who I am.
And delete them before she could see them.
Yeah, and she's just like, no, all press is good press. It doesn't matter. They're still talking about you.
And most of the time, they have no idea what they're actually talking about.
Right.
Like,
Well, it's coming from ignorance, which is why I feel like doing a podcast is important, because if you see a really heavy opinion out there, a public opinion, you can correct it or give more data, information about why that's happening, which I feel like is kind of important in our journey with Teen Mom, because it's like now we get 5 minutes of screen time each episode. It's one of those things where now we have to, like, okay, how do we
fill in the blanks?
Yeah, because people deserve to have the blanks filled in, I feel like, because they've been so loyal to our story and following it. Like, I feel like a duty to, like, you guys got 25% of the truth. Here's the rest of it.
Yeah, or like if you're going, everyone is going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
But it's like, here, let me give you all of it so you can actually form an educated opinion.
Yeah.
It's still, I don't have to like your opinion.
Right.
But I want you to have get all of it first, then tell me how you really feel.
You're obviously not in TV world, so all the comments, all the negative stuff. Like, I mean, that's hard. That's hard to handle.
It was very difficult at first. Just trying to, you know, when you get a notification, you want to know what it is. You want to open your phone and see what somebody said. And it was, especially when we first came out, we want to hear what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong.
Right.
And then some of it's just pure hate and trying to get past it.
Like hate with no purpose. Like you're not giving any constructive criticism. You're literally just typing this to try to hurt me.
Yes.
Which is why I kind of think like if you're on Reddit, you're probably a piece of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, I don't know why you'd go to an anonymous forum page to talk shit about random people.
Yes.
And I didn't even know about Reddit until like a year ago, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, there's a whole."
It was a few years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole teen mom like thing, and I'm like, "Oh, that's weird."
No,
It's like
random motherfucker. I mean, go on my Instagram and talk shit to me.
Yeah.
Why
Say
you
it
why
to
you
my
hiding your
face.
little in that corner? I don't understand what you're doing over there. You got no power over there. It's anonymous. So I thought it was weird.
I often wonder why people will argue in my comment section with people that they don't know about someone they don't know.
Yep. It makes absolute no sense at all whatsoever.
Who has time for that?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I can only handle my own bullshit. I can't be worried about somebody else's.
And I never once actually commented like, "I hate you, mother." Like I never.
Never.
I never even had the urge to comment something like negative or bad. So I don't really get the
Ever.
I don't
motivation
either
for
because
it.
if I see something I don't like or I disagree with, I just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
I think what it is though, it's this easy access to collective like tribal. Oh, I find all these people that share my same opinion, so now I feel validated, and it's like it's toxic though because if you stay in that little bubble, like a Reddit page, you're not gaining any outside perspective. You're not gaining any deeper context. You're literally just confirmation bias, and you're just doing it to yourself. Like I'm like confused on what the purpose of it is and why you feel the need to like go hang out with a bunch of people who
You don't know.
It makes them feel
full of hate.
that you're only connected with hate. You're not connected with, oh, I love the show. So you're connected by the criticizing of people you don't know.
I think it's some sort of validation that one must not be getting in their real life.
And she told me that. She's like, these people are commenting on things that they'd have no idea, and that, I mean, that's so sad, you know?
It is sad.
I've come to, instead of being sad from those comments, I feel sad for them.
Right, yeah. I think, because I think even, I know for myself when I started this whole TV journey and stuff, it took years to, to grow thick skin to it. Like there was a period of my life I had to take 2 years off social media, because, and eventually now it's to the point, and has been for a while, but I post stuff, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. I don't go back and read the comments, nothing. Unless I see somebody I know, then I read theirs, because it'll pop up, you know? But I'm like, I post what I want to post. If you don't like it, I don't really care, because this is my page, and I'm not going to read it.
I think what it comes down to, too, is like, they don't understand that their perception of me is just a reflection of them. And they don't even realize that. Like, they're almost don't even get it. Like, you understand that you're projecting right now. You're talking to yourself in the mirror, but you're using me as a really easy catalyst to do it and feel good about it, because other people are like, yeah, you're right. And it's like, yeah, I'm right. And it's like, you're not. But okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I feel like, like your perception of me is just, it's literally a reflection of yourself, which the faster you understand that, the quicker you can maybe heal some of your hate or vibe or whatever the hell is wrong with you, because something's going on. But you actually had, I have to say, because that 2 years you took off of social media, like that
was great for me.
Yeah, and it was really good for you, but I also felt like I think it would be different if that stuff happened nowadays, because I've never seen someone get so much hate for attacking their mental health. And like literally I mean, people are like, oh yeah, they went to rehab, good for them. And it's like, you went to rehab or treatment and you were just like,
it's interesting how it's like people, it is. You say that, and it's people that go to rehab for addiction problems.
It's like people are proud.
Yeah, but if you're going for your mental health, which is just
like they're
as
both
hurtful,
not diseases.
Right. Then people look down on you and say, oh, you're selfish, or you don't care about your kids.
You just need to get over it.
Yeah. It's like, how does that even make any sense, you know?
I just feel like the hate you got was really unjustified. Because
100%.
Because like you said, we celebrate these recovering addicts and we celebrate them going to rehab and getting help, but a mom who has postpartum depression and is a birth mom and has generational trauma going back. I mean,
and is also doing it in front of the entire world.
Exactly.
And being judged on top of that.
Yes.
Yeah, like it was a lot. But I think that is interesting. Just haters are always gonna hate. And I always tell myself, like, well, haters, they just steady keep us famous because they're spreading our name all over the place. You know, like whatever.
All press is good press.
Exactly. It really is.
But do you find yourself not reading this stuff now?
Yeah, no, I don't read anything.
Right.
Don't even open the door because it ain't worth it. Yeah.
Yep.
So how long, you guys been doing your podcast for 2 years, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And what do you think was what's your advice for us? Help us out. Like, what do you wish you would have known?
Any advice,
yeah, what do you wish
I
you
don't
would have known or done differently?
Stay authentic. I would say there's more of a benefit than you could ever imagine until you do it in like the trial and error, in the troubleshooting, make sure you're confident and comfortable with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think as long as you like keep what your direction is, what your goal is for each episode, I feel like y'all are going to be great.
So stay loyal to your intention.
Yeah. And your purpose for it.
And make a list. I'm very much a list maker.
Yes.
Have lists.
No, that's how I am too. Like if it were me and Taylor, he's not really a list. I'm a list person.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I'm like that. I'm not a list person.
I'm making a list. But yeah, I think it will be just fine. I mean,
you've been in this world of, production and things like that. As long as you're yourself, people will love you or hate you, but your name is still in their mouth. So
yeah, and honestly, if they hate me, well, then you're just weeding out the people. Like I love let the maggots rise up, so it's easier that way.
I love
show me your hate, so that way I can go. Whoop.
I would also say too, just like with anything in life, like make sure that you don't overwork yourself. Because sometimes we've even had periods where it's like what we were talking about earlier before we were recording. Like people think, oh, you come in, you sit down, you talk for an hour, and then you leave and you go home, and it's just that's what No, there's like a lot of work that goes into making a podcast and publishing a podcast, especially a good one. But give yourself room to like rest and breathe and grace to say, you know what, I don't want to put something out just to put something out.
Right.
And if you're not feeling passionate about what you're going to be talking about or who you're going to be talking to, then give it a week and try again the next week. You know what I mean? Like don't force it. Just make sure that.
Which I feel like for us, like I'm loyal to the authenticity. I'm not loyal to the deadline. And if that deadline has to be pushed in order for my authenticity to take over, then that's what I'll do.
And like how you said about being passionate about it. Like I want to talk about things that I'm passionate about.
Yes.
And that I'm educated about. I don't want to be spreading misinformation.
Yep.
And I don't want to sit here and pretend that I'm liking what I'm talking about because that's not fun either,
Yes, exactly. I think that's pretty much the baseline. I also feel like you'll learn as you go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's and a bit rewarding too.
Because then you can go back and be like, look how shitty that was.
Look how far we are now.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like you got to be brave enough to be bad at something.
Definitely,
at first, know, and that's how you learn and grow.
Yeah,
so that's
sometimes failures are actually just a bigger push forward.
Failures are opportunities to learn and grow.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and honestly, failure is, you can't get success without it.
Exactly.
It's impossible. You're going to go through something. You're going to fail at something in order to get to the top. So, I mean, it's
definitely.
It's the journey. Yeah.
Yep.
Which we're excited about. That's why we're
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I almost feel like we've been brewing on this for so long that it's like, we're almost like, okay, what are we going to talk about next?
Yeah.
It's like we have like a volcano ready to explode.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Going back to the list, I have to write down stuff because he's throwing all these things, and I'm like, whoa. Slow down. Okay.
We'll be driving in the car, and she'll be like, listen, I can't even deal with the 8 million subjects that you just covered in 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry.
Like, can we just start with 4? Yeah. Give me your top 4, Because he jumps all over the place in every direction, and,
I know when you're not listening because I say Blue Monkey.
I was literally just thinking.
You're just thinking that? So I'll be like talking, I can tell when she's like, just like
zoned
kind of,
out.
Zoned out, head nodding.
He fucks with me, I guess. He says secret words, and he sees if I go, oh yeah, and he's like, oh yeah.
It's a way for me to know though. All right, Tyler, shut up.
Yeah.
You're rambling.
Yeah.
And you need to shut up. So I'll be like, oh, about that Nova's practice and Blue Monkey. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well.
I'm like, really?
Like,
You've done that?
all the time. It's a way of me saying, "Hey, are you listening to me?"
Yeah.
And then then it puts you in a position to be like, "I wasn't. I'm sorry." So I'm just gonna eliminate it because I know I can talk a lot and really fast. So I'll just add in Blue Monkey. And if you go, "Yeah, oh yeah," I'm like, "Oh yeah." That's a sign.
You've lost her.
I lost her. I'm like, all right.
But
That's
then
hilarious.
Then you told me that you used to do that to your mom growing up. You would throw out random words. Yeah.
Because I could tell she's cooking dinner, and I'm like, "Ma, did you know that?" You know, just going on, and I'd be like, "Blue Monkey," and she's like, "Yeah, Ty, yeah." I'm like, "All right, Mom, go in my room now."
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That's great.
Because Nova's the exact same way. She's like our very talkative, curious, wants to know things, ask questions. I mean, that kid will roll out of bed.
She reminds me so much of him.
She is.
My mom tells me the same thing because
same person.
He usually does. We split it up really good. He usually does the morning stuff with the kids and gets them up for school, and I usually do the nighttime thing. So like baths, bedtime. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Isn't that a nice split though? It feels good.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. But man, there's mornings when Nova literally her hair is still fluffed. She could be still wrapped in a blanket. And she's just like, Ma, I was thinking this thing, you ever look at the stars and you just feel really connected because we're part of the stars and our ancestors are a part of the stars, so we're just like really connected to stars. And I'm like, oh.
You're trying to stir your cup of coffee, like, yeah, dude.
I'm like, it is 6:05 in the morning. Like, where is it? And she will just go on and on and on. And I love that about her. I do. But sometimes I'm just like, ever since she was yay big, she just started talking, and she's never stopped.
I taught her Blue Monkey. I said, Nova, if you ever want to just throw it out there and you'll know.
Taught her Blue Monkey.
Yeah, I did. Dad, that's really smart. I'm gonna use that. I'm like, go ahead.
I wonder if she's ever
Don't get offended.
I wonder if she's ever used it on me. Seriously.
Oh my God, that's so
Are
great.
any one of your kids like that? Like very, very...
Jade.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I feel like her and Nova are actually very similar.
And I didn't realize that they were... I guess it never clicked to me that Nova and Jade are literally 9.
Yeah.
Same age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nova's, January 1st?
Yep.
New Year's Day? Mm-hmm. And Jade's May 29th. Just right after her.
Yeah.
They are close, but they're so similar. So similar. Like the whole wake up in the morning and like just talk about some random thing. Oh, yeah. It's like this whole philosophy. It's like they spent their whole night like a rabbit hole without the internet type of thing. And I'm like, Jade, give me a second. Like, I haven't even brushed my teeth yet. And honestly, neither have you. Like,
I know. I'm like, where does all this stuff come from?
Because I'm not a morning person.
Me neither.
Like, don't talk to me.
I mean, I'm more talkative, but I just don't like getting up early. That's my problem.
No, I just don't talk to me. Don't look at me.
I need a good 30 minutes. I get up in the morning with the kids. I purposely get up a half hour before getting any of them up.
That's what Taylor does too.
I need it. I can't handle the chaos, especially because Nova is the first that gets up, and she is a very like, Dad. I'm like, dude, I can't even.
And now she gets up at 6 now.
I know, because her bearded dragon.
Yeah.
Now she's got to feed her bearded dragon. So here I am, get my coffee. Here she comes, going to the fridge and getting lettuce, and I'm like, please don't speak yet.
But she does.
She does.
Yeah, and then I think it's funny. I know we're all on kids right now, but also I think it's funny that you have a spicy one, and I have a spicy one. Like,
who's the spicy one now?
Mav.
Yeah.
we were over there yesterday at dinner, and we were just. I was like, he's the best.
A wild
ball
one.
of fire.
his little remarks and stuff. Like Veda, we call her like she's our Mowgli.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Mowgli.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's just a spitfire. She knows what she wants. She knows how to get what she wants, and she doesn't care what you say or what you tell her.
She's gonna get it.
Veda's gonna learn the hard way.
That's Maverick. That is
Maverick.
Maverick.
Hard way.
He will. I can literally see his gears turning, and he's like, risk versus reward. Don't care what the risk is. Gonna get it. Mm-hmm. Whatever happens, happens. I'll deal with it after. Whatever. It's fine.
And they're so sneaky. One time I was watching them, Mav and Jade, and they were like, yeah, Mom lets us drive the golf cart all the time. And I let them, because I'm so gullible, I let them do whatever. And they were not supposed to drive the golf cart.
Oh, no.
How did you find out? Did you say, hey, they're just driving the golf cart?
I sent a video. And I was like,
because I didn't know they said it was okay.
Right.
Macy's like, what
you
the
gotta
fuck?
be kidding me. Yeah.
So what did you say to her? Get them off? No, they're not supposed to.
I didn't.
She waited until she got home.
Yeah,
She's
I
like,
said, hey,
did y'all say that? Tell
I
Natalie
asked them.
that
I knew
drive
they
the
talked
thing?
her or told her that it was okay, even though they knew it wasn't okay. But yeah, they'll especially together, they will find a way to manipulate the situation, especially if they know for instance, like Natalie, they had never been alone like with Natalie. It's always just been all of us. And it's like, oh, let's see if we can get this one over on her, you know.
And they're like, hey, Ma, we want her to babysit again.
Yeah, for sure.
This time we're going to tell her that we could drive the Suburban, you know?
For
you know
sure,
what I mean?
yes.
Like crazy stuff,
100%.
you know?
Yeah, we could totally ride our dirt bikes in the rocks with no helmets on. 100%. It's fine.
Does Mav and Jay, do they ever, are they close with Bentley's other siblings?
Yes.
Are they? That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's really good.
They actually, anytime his siblings are with Ryan, it's like, can we go to Ryan's? Can we go to Mimi and Papa's? Like, they're big buddies.
That's
big
super
buddies,
cool that they can all be involved because they're all like Bentley siblings.
Yeah, it's so funny because they're always like, man, our family's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool. Like, we have a lot of family. Mm-hmm. I don't think my friends have family. Like, their family's not like this. I'm like, no, probably not. Maybe
Because
some,
collectively,
but...
Bentley has how many siblings?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 step. So
that's a
really
lot.
7,
Wow.
6,
That's
7,
insane.
yeah.
That
I
is a
only have one
lot.
sister, so I'm like, that's...
I only have one brother.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I mean, that's literally insane. Like,
Yep.
holy crap.
It is.
So the fact that they can all get along and stuff like that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Bentley is much older than all of them, and he is very much on the same page as me. Like, if I've ever found out I was going to have birth a child, y'all need to check on me. I might end up in a facility somewhere. Bentley's like, no more babies, please.
Oh,
like,
is he over it now?
Yeah, he's like, this is too much. It's too much.
Well,
I'm
yeah, because
like,
you think about it, like the youngest is going to be born soon, and he's going to be 16 years older. That was like me and my brother Nick.
But that's what Bentley said. He's like, holy crap. So technically, like, I'm 16 now, and this baby is like, you were 16 with me. I'm like, yep. I'm like, could you imagine moving out and taking care of this said baby? And he's like, absolutely not. I'm like, yep, there you go.
Cate Ty Break It Down is sponsored by BetterHelp. So sometimes when you're looking to go to therapy, it can be scary. You might not know where to go, how to find a good therapist, and maybe your life's really busy and you don't have time just going and sitting somewhere in an office for an hour. I know for us, and having 3 kids and extracurricular activities, it's hard to leave the house for an hour and drive 30 minutes or whatever to go see a therapist. And BetterHelp can help with a lot of those things. Therapy should feel accessible and not like a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense, and it can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Me, myself, I have used BetterHelp, and I loved the experience. I loved being able to find a therapist that really fit my needs and being able to switch therapists at any time if I didn't feel like it was a good match. Also, BetterHelp is convenient too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life, plus switch therapists at any time. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, giving served over 5 million people globally. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/breakitdown to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/breakitdown.
Is any of Bentley's, is anyone in his school, like, what are you seeing as far as teen pregnancy? Is it down? Is it up? I was curious about that yesterday.
I think overall, not even just in Bentley school, but like, friends that he plays other sports and stuff with that go to other schools, I think overall it's down. But I also think that the resources available for kids to find other education paths and programs and things kind of eliminate the awareness of it or people knowing about it, not because they're hiding it, but just there are many more resources available now. But also I think the climate's changed. The conversations are different, and with social media and the internet, I feel like kids are exposed to so many things earlier than even we were. And it's kind of forcing conversations to happen. So I mean, just like our show, too.
Yeah.
So I think a bit more responsibility and smarter decisions are being made.
Has Bentley, ever asked you, or mentioned to you about, why are we doing this stupid show? Why are you still doing it? Or like anything negative, like any kind of, you know what I mean? Because as our kids get older, Nova's going to be 10.
Yeah.
And then we're kind of like, you know, and there's days where her mic, and I'm like,
she also
how do we
knows,
navigate
she
this?
also knows too, if you don't want to film, you don't have to.
Yeah, she has the freedom
100%.
to go in her room.
Yeah. Our kids know, even if they're like, okay, I'm okay with it, and then they're like, 5 minutes later, change my mind. All right,
right,
cool.
Yeah.
Like, you never ever have to. No, he doesn't hate it. I mean, it is one of those like, oh man, I just got home from school and they're filming, but he'll just, you know, go up to his room or eat a snack, you know, off camera or whatever. But he's never really asked why. I think because, honestly, I think it's because of just the conversations that we have while we're filming, and then also when people in public will come up to us, he's always just kind of heard like, oh my God, you know, I was a teen mom too, and you guys helped me so much. Or he hears, you know, the moms that were like, my son or daughter was 15 years old, and if the show wasn't on, like, I would have never talked to them about sex.
We've gotten that too.
Like, y'all gave me a way in to have that conversation. So I think he's always kind of known that that's why, you know, is hopefully to be relatable, to help someone, and or to make someone realize they're not alone in certain things that they're going through. Yeah. Whether it be that they relate to me or y'all or any other person that's, you know, crazy and brave enough to share their story on the show. We all have something different to offer, but I think he's just grown up hearing that and seeing it. So he's never asked that.
And to go back to about like people I feel like our age that are having kids and stuff, we're talking to our children more, so because we're learning that children are not stupid and they're actually really smart. We're starting to talk to them younger, which I think is amazing. Like, people sometimes look at me and Ty like we're crazy. Yeah. But like our 10-year-old, she knows what sex is. She knows how it works, that there needs to be a sperm and an egg. Yep. She knows that there's protection out there. She knows about birth control. And it's all because she is genuinely
driven it, really.
Yes, and asked the questions. When she was 5, it clicked in her mind, and she looked at Ty and I, and she said, oh, so you guys just mated.
She's watching the
She plays horses, and you gotta mate. It says, oh, click mate, and they make a new horse.
So
you know,
mated.
Me and Ty and I looked at each other. I said, that's it. We made it.
Yeah, I mean,
And eventually, she would ask more questions, and it would lead into like, well, I can't lie to her. Yeah, you know, babies don't grow in your belly or come out your belly button. Like, I'm not gonna lie. You know,
it actually,
I'm the same way.
Yeah,
with
that led us into her learning that we're like primates, because she's like, I'm like, you were animals, and she's like, whoa, what?
I'm an animal?
Yeah.
And
like,
as much as she loves animals, you know, she's like,
oh yeah,
yes, I'm an animal.
And I think it's good.
I do too.
Because she says it now. She even says, like, she said, she talks about it a lot more so lately. And she says, I don't think I ever want to have kids. She said, I really want to be the cool aunt that has all the reptiles, and I can spoil them and give them back. And I said, that's totally fine. That might change. Yeah. And she says, when I start my period, she goes, I'm getting on birth control. And I said, okay, well, there's other things we can do too. You know, like, you know, so she, and it's funny. It's like, kids are smart. And I think, you know, our show has even taught me, in a sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Watching other people's stories. Yes. And knowing that we have to talk to our children about all these things at a young age.
Have you seen a shift, like, as far as, like, because you, obviously you grew up, you watched, how old are you?
29.
Okay, so you're a little younger, but, like, did you see a shift in culture, or, like, in school and stuff? Did kids talk about it? Like,
after the show?
After the show?
Like, when the show aired,
like,
and kind of got picked up.
Like, when you were watching the show.
I think we were still in that time where you don't talk about it. Like, I had my first sex talk was at church.
Oh.
Wow.
It's weird. And
with
it was
who?
With, like, the female youth.
Okay, female youth pastor?
It was all females in the room.
Was it a conversation of, like, scare them out of sex?
No, it was more or less like, this is what married people do. This is only what you should do with married, you know, just very cookie cutter, not it's a penis and a vagina and an egg and a sperm. It's nothing like that. It was very...
Oh, okay.
It was put in a beautiful package and
a bow
on top.
Did you absorb the package?
A bow of bullshit.
I mean, not really.
Okay.
They didn't tell me anything that I didn't already know. I knew, I knew what it was.
You probably knew a little more and was like, this is
not really.
This is bullshit.
This is not exactly what it is. But
And kids
hate to break it to y'all, but did y'all know that?
yeah, by the way, you don't have to
Maybe
marry.
I should educate you.
Right, I already knew this, and I kind of know more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, did you go to a public school or was it like a Christian?
Public.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, like, I didn't know if you, like.
we did have health class, and that was educational.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it could have been more,
Yeah. But you don't ever remember, like, kids talking about 16 and pregnant or teen mom or.
I feel like that was the age where y'all were just starting out, and I was just getting into high school. And so.
Oh, okay.
It was like not the wanted end result.
Yeah.
But
No, it's because I remember when it first started, like, we had to go defend the show to Matt Lauer on the Today Show. It was and no one told us about it, and it was like, you're going to talk to Matt Lauer about this new show. I'm like, all right, or about whatever's going on. And I literally got grilled by Matt Lauer about why we're glamorizing.
Yeah, do you think you're glamorizing tea party? And we're literally 17 years old.
And I'm like, no, I don't, sir. And I don't, it was just
if you think having to place a child for adoption because you have no support is glamorizing, if you think
not being able
a son
to pay
not
your
having
bills,
his dad around, can't pay bills, can't go to work is
can't finish
glamorizing.
school,
right, like, this is not glamorizing, and it's we're trying to show that it's not fun. And it was like, that was crazy.
It was. We were like, what? And don't you think it took a minute for culture and society to kind of get the real message?
Yes.
It's taboo, it's shocking. Like you said, nobody wants to talk about it. Well, we need to talk about it if we want to stop the problem.
Yes. You have to know and recognize and accept that there's a problem before anything's going to change.
Right.
Oh man, I don't
It took a
miss
minute.
those days. I remember I would get so hot in those interviews.
Well, especially when you're not prepared for it. They're like, go on Today's Show and talk about Teen Mom. It's like, no, this guy's reading cue cards, grilling us about why we're going to destroy America's youth because now they're all going to want to get pregnant to be on TV and stuff.
I'm like, if anybody has watched 16 and Pregnant, like, trust me, if I had not gotten myself into this mess, I would not watch this show and be like, that looks fun.
Right. No, not at all.
That's exactly what I want my life to be.
And plus, I think one thing that our like cast, the original people, is unique is that we didn't know anything about what it was going to be like.
No.
For Teen Mom 2 and 16 and P season, whatever, they already saw
there was kind
the
of a
potential.
blueprint.
They're like, oh, this is where it could lead into. We were the guinea pigs. We had no idea like where. So to say that we're glamorizing what our podcast couple $1,000 we got for the
literally,
like what
I'm
do
like,
we? I'm still in the trailer, bro. I'm still.
The punk couple $1,000 and I split it with you, and then my mom took $1,000 from me.
Yeah,
You're not just $1,000.
Yeah, and I've never seen that ever
getting evicted or something. She
I don't know what it was for. All I remember is she took $1,000 from me, and I gave you $2,500, and so I was stuck with like $1,000.
Yep.
And shared the biggest trauma of my life on television.
I totally forgot about your mom taking $1,000.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I paid for a semester of school.
And that's when they were smoking crack.
Oh, yeah, and who knows what
God,
else.
see? Damn. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. So, wow. I'm like,
I
damn.
remember going around telling people, like, oh, yeah. They'd be like, oh, what show are you filming? I'm like, we're going to be on True Life.
It's like True Life. I'm knocked up as a teen or something.
I'm like, I think it's going to be a True Life. Like, I feel like even the producers and stuff didn't know what
because
it was
really was. It was like a True Life, like, docu-series.
Yes.
Like, there was not...
Which I love that about it.
Yes.
I like the docu-series part of it. You can
oh
just
my
be
God.
real.
Do you remember, like, one of the craziest things I think about was when, after Bentley was born, there would be a camera op that would literally sleep on the couch in the apartment to film
The nighttime.
when the
never had
baby would wake, like when Bentley would wake up
We never
and
had
stuff.
that.
And I was like, I look back now and I'm like, that
weird.
is so insane, but also like, that's why that it was so good.
Yeah.
It was. I actually
it was
remember the scene
so
of you putting him on the bed and saying, Ryan, you're doing this. I'm
like,
up on...
I have to do homework.
Yeah, do homework, yeah.
Yes.
And his face looked completely like,
crazy.
Oh, he
what do you
was
want me to
mad.
do about
Yeah.
it? You were like, dude.
Do what?
Do something.
Take care of your kid? How about that?
Just anything.
Seriously.
Anything's better than nothing at this point.
Yeah, seriously.
Golly. Oh man.
How's that going though? As far as just like, Bentley and Ryan and, I mean, is everything's normal?
Yeah, normal and...
on the up and up?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Oh, we
and
said we weren't going to talk to her about Ryan.
Oh,
She always talks about
that's
Ryan.
true.
Well,
I'm
I guess,
sorry. But I meant
well, Bentley
more
too.
than
I had to
mom.
tell him, though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a whole, it's kind of odd how normal is now.
Yeah.
Like
good.
what the normal is and how much healthier
That's
it
good.
is. But he's been sober for over a year and a half.
Good for him.
2 years in April.
That's awesome.
I was more interested in knowing as you as a mom. I don't think people get to hear the perspective of being a mom who has to navigate protecting my kid while also trying to be as much of a bridge as possible
Yes.
to the other parent. Like, I mean, my mom, I feel like, had a similar situation to my dad that you had, which is
Yeah.
like, how do I... And she asked me, when my dad was in prison, she was like, do you want to go see him? And there's an age where I was like, I don't want to go see him through the glass. It's weird. And so... And I remember her saying, are you sure? I don't want you to regret it, because my sister would go and I wouldn't go. And so, like, I thought about, I'm like, dang, like the perspective of being a mom, having to protect your kids while also trying to nurture and build a bridge to something that could potentially, that you're not in control of, harm them. It's like, how do you do it?
For a very long time, I had no idea how to do it. It's much more of a follow your gut.
Yeah.
What feels right usually is, at least for the time being. After doing a lot of therapy and like Al-Anon and all kinds of things like that over the last, like, honestly, 4 or 5 years now, learning what I can control and what I can't, what my responsibilities are, what are not my responsibilities. But I think for me, the biggest change and shift for me was learning that it is also not my responsibility to right Ryan's wrongs.
Right.
I cannot do that. I could try over and over and over again. I cannot do anything about that.
Only Ryan can.
And that makes sense because I could see as like as a mom or a parent, the
and
other
you want
parent
to fix it. You want
right,
to
or
make it
you
right.
like maybe start to overcompensate with this child because the lack of things that he's missing out on from somebody else. That would be hard.
It's a whole matter of just really shifting focus from the addict or even your child and focusing on you, working on you, learning what your boundaries are, what trauma the experiences have brought you, how maybe your feelings toward the other parent affect how you parent, but also how you might get in the way or detach, which also isn't good for the kid. But it's way more about looking internally because that I can only control me.
Right.
I can only uphold my responsibilities, and I can also just be an example of like working on yourself, doing the work to try to get healthier mentally and emotionally, and talking about it. And this is something that I like before I did a lot of work and therapy and stuff on myself, trying to make sense of his addiction and like trying to figure it out. If I figure it out, then maybe I can fix it, or then maybe I can do this. But I think it was a matter of like when we got pregnant with Bentley and we moved into an apartment and then Bentley was born, neither one of us knew what we were doing at all, obviously. We were kids having a kid. And I think for me, it was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but also my motherly instinct kicked in.
Yep.
And I was very much still like, well, I don't have time to sit here and like focus on what I don't know. Like I just got to do it and I got to do it. And it was like, just do it. And on the surface, I looked like I knew what I was doing and I looked like I was okay. And I looked like I wasn't panicking all the fucking time, Whereas with him, it's like, he doesn't know what he's doing either.
Right.
And I look like I know what I'm doing and I don't have time to slow down and help him. Like we didn't talk about things like that. And I think for him it's like, holy shit, they seem fine. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm panicking. Why is she not panicking? How does she know what to do and I don't know what to do?
Doing something wrong.
Right. Or like that you're
not good
just
enough.
Failing. Yeah. And it's like we were so young. We didn't know to talk about those things with each other. Our relationship was full of love, but it was not a mature relationship because we weren't mature.
Yeah.
We weren't emotionally mature. We weren't, even from a relationship standpoint, again, we were kids. And it's like, I'm trying to keep my head above water. And he's like, wait, but she's doing it. And she's not saying that she's freaking out. But I'm still freaking out. And I still don't know. Like, it was just a whole, like...
So do you think vulnerability might have been missing? Like, just being honest with each other about, this is hard. I'm freaking out. And I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Like, because then you guys could have maybe connected on that.
Yeah. And being so in survival mode, you naturally become selfish, especially when you're a kid.
Robot mode.
Yeah. And it's like, I wasn't thinking about how he was doing.
Right.
You know, because I could hardly wipe my own ass.
Right.
Like, I couldn't, you know, I can't help you because I don't even know how to help myself.
But I think you being curious about what he was experiencing is like, your curiosity really is empathy. You're trying to like make a connect, like, you know,
Right.
which is, like I said, I commend you because a lot of people can get hardened and they can stay hardened. You got hardened, which is a part of the process, but then you eventually, listen, your curiosity took over.
Yeah.
Which I think that creates healing. I mean,
I agree. And I think too, when you do get hardened and you are just angry all the time, if you allow yourself to do it, like you finally realize, like at that point, you're just poisoning yourself.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you are.
Waiting for them to die.
Yeah. It's not, they're not poisoning, like I'm poisoning myself by...
And you say that stuff a lot, like you've also said that to Nova, like with certain things, you know, if you take on like whatever the saying, you always say it to her.
I have too many
when
sayings,
people are bullying her or like doing hard things, or you're right, in the end it ends up just hurting yourself more. You're literally poisoning yourself, and like you said, waiting for them to die.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's toxic.
But when you're the one holding the bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. You're the one that's like in control of what you're doing and how you're being affected, but you're so focused on what somebody else is doing instead of focusing on yourself and what you're doing. Like, how are you helping yourself, you know?
Yeah.
If you're just focused on fixing them or figuring them out.
Never going to be good.
That's one thing about Al-Anon that was like mind-blowing to me, is like it actually has nothing to do with the addict and everything to do with you.
And I've never actually been to Al-Anon.
It's amazing.
But people have, I mean, Dr. Drew's been trying.
Oh, yeah.
It is amazing.
Been trying,
Yeah.
Game changer.
But one thing I love about you and just watching your whole journey and just being a friend of yours is, I told her last night, I said, you're such a good mom in the sense of, you know, you let your kids, you're supportive of them and you help them, but you literally let Bentley grow and make his own opinion of his father. And I feel like Tyler's mom did the same thing with him. Yeah. She never down-talked him. She was honest with him if things were going on and he asked questions, but Tyler was able to grow up and make his own opinion of his father for what it is.
Yes.
And that takes hard work to do, because as a parent, I'm sure you probably want to say, no, your dad's a fucking piece of shit, you know, or whatever it is. He's a drug addict, and you know, like, because you are angry at times because you see your child in pain. But
it takes self-control.
The most important thing, though, is knowing that when you talk bad about your child's other parent, you're telling your child that half of them is bad, half of them is wrong, half of them is a piece of shit, half of them is worthless. They're made of both of you, and you're just literally telling your child that half of them is worthless.
Right.
I think a lot of people need to hear what you just said.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of co-parenting situations that don't go that way. And little kids have to hear their other parent being talked about in negative ways.
Definitely. And I think as a humankind, we are all now... Given our podcast, we do find that some people are just bad. Like they're just they're just not good. But majority, we all have goodness inside. We all have growth and trauma and love and want to do and be healthy and loving and caring. But for a kid, they're supposed to feel loved, and if they're not getting it from one of their parents, and then the parent that does claim and show up to love them and support them is dogging them. It's like, as a kid, it's like, so you don't love me enough to not tell me that half of me is fucked up.
Right.
Like, it's not about, they're a child. Like,
I know.
Oh, it sucks. That's one of my biggest things. I'm like, hey, don't do that.
And also just respecting the fact that they have a different love that's just as vital with that person than you do with them. So it's like you have to understand and nurture that. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to do, though.
And you're kind of also telling them that how they feel about that person is wrong, too.
You should feel mad like me. You should think these things like I do.
When children, they just love because they love them.
Yes.
You know?
We could learn a lot more from kids.
Yes.
Oh,
When it comes to loving, you know what I mean?
My kids teach me something new on the daily.
100%. 100%. Yes.
But Natalie, do you have any, did you have anyone in your family that was in addiction, or have you ever experienced?
We had family members. I've never been face to face with it or lived with someone in active addiction. I think we all have traumas, and they shape us in different ways. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, before I was at school age, I had a babysitter, and it was just this couple that my aunt knew from church. And they had several kids that they would watch during the day. And I was raped by them, by the husband. And it was so odd because after I got out of that situation, and it's like I forgot about it. It was too much for my little brain to handle that I blocked it out for so many years. It was like one day I was like, oh yeah.
That happened to me.
That happened to me.
Yep.
And then you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's where therapy comes in. And, and then the person I lost my virginity to used to hit me. And I felt like that was a really pivotal time for me because I was able to connect that those acts are not okay. They're not loving. They're not healthy. They're not,
It's not what love looks like.
It's not what love is. And it's okay to get out of it, but you gotta treat yourself. You've got to make sure that your mental health is okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to say, first of all, thanks for being vulnerable and sharing that, because you don't have to. Mm-hmm. And also, I hope you know that it takes a lot of strength and power to speak upon that. Mm-hmm. And that I'm sad that happened to you. Mm-hmm. Did you ever, you don't have to answer anything if it's too personal or you're uncomfortable. But did you ever speak about it to your family? Was there anything done to this person?
So I did not know that I was being hurt. When you're 3 or 4, you think an adult's telling you to do something, you're supposed to do it. And I didn't think anything of it at first. And I just randomly, I have a different memory of it. Me and my mom have talked about it. I remember we were at Chick-fil-A and I told her, and she was like, no, we were driving home and you told me. So my memory is a little off on how, but I was like, this person is doing this to me. And she was like, what? And then we had a deeper conversation about it. And they did sit down with the husband and wife. We all went to a park, and I was there.
Wow,
I was there.
you were there?
My parents were there, and the couple was there. Whoa. We sat down at a park, and the woman goes, tell your mom and dad you're lying. Tell your mom and dad this didn't happen.
Did she know about it?
She would go and get her hair done once a week. And that's when it would happen. And I was like, no, this happened to me. I'm not gonna let my parents think I'm lying.
Right.
Because I'm not lying.
Right.
But no repercussions forever.
So in front of your mom, she said, tell your mom you're lying.
Dude, I'd whip.
Could you?
Shit
I know.
out of
I'm like
somebody. I'd be in
the
handcuffs.
I mean, it's like what?
Handcuffs.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you think that the way that was handled was the right way?
No.
Okay, so if because kids experience this all the time and they don't know how to say anything.
I was going to say how she said that the memories came up. The same thing happened to my mother.
Yeah.
Something happened to her when she was younger, and she started getting flashbacks when she was 17 years old.
That's exactly what happened.
Wow.
When you got older? Like
Yes,
you were way older?
I didn't think about it through elementary school. I don't remember thinking about it in middle school, high school, when you start getting into,
hormones.
It all came
feelings,
back.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it really helped because I took a psychology class in high school, and it was like, I can't remember what the point of view was or the thesis was, but it was like, tell your parents something that you may not have told them before, or your experience, and then I'd let my mom read it, and she was like, oh, well, this is different, or this is different, or she remembered it differently.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I want to bring up the point, though, that you, being a victim, said, I wish my parents would have handled it differently.
And it was a different time.
It was a different time, but I feel like people who are listening, or possibly anyone, it's like, what would you have wanted it to be handled? Do you think it would have been better if you weren't involved and that they would have been legal stuff happened?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I should have never seen him after that.
I
did see him after that.
Yeah, which is it's
the promise was I was never to be left alone with him. So
okay, wait a minute. So how often were you?
Once a week, alone with him. No, after I told my parents, I started going to the hair salon with her. But I still went back.
Okay. Right. So they didn't find...
my parents didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know what to do.
But as a kid of that and as a survivor of that, did that make you feel like they didn't believe you in a sense? Because I told you this thing?
Yeah, okay.
A little.
Yeah, and then I'm still around this person?
Or made you feel like you probably should just not talk about it because clearly I said something and now I'm back in this.
And I think that's probably why I forgot about it for so long. It was like, okay, it's here. This is what happened. There's nothing that we can do to change it. Let's just never talk about it again. And
have your parents ever addressed it?
Yeah, they feel really bad.
Okay, right, because they obviously now they know better or whatever. Because I think one of the hard things though is that when you're a kid and you're because when I was sexually abused, I told my mom and she was haul off and slapped me. She was so mad, thinking that I was lying, which I get from her perspective now as an adult. I'm like, okay. What's a horrible lie, and you could incriminate a lot of innocent people, and she just thought I was making up stories. But it's one of those things where it's like, if by you sharing your story about that, I share my story. If this even gets out to one parent, this is how you handle it. You, the child should never ever be around that person ever again. Never be forced to see them unless. Unfortunately, it's at a court date when they have to testify, and that's the only that should be the last time.
Well, yeah, and Ty and I have always said too, when it comes to any situation like that, I will believe in my child until proven otherwise.
Yes.
I will fight tooth and nail because some parents end up pushing aside or oh, maybe they're making up stories or whatever, and you can't do that.
I think also though a lot of parents do the wrong. They kind of absorb it the wrong way, as in oh no, it's a reflection of my parenting. I'm bad. I don't want anyone to know that I put my kid in a bad situation. So shouldn't.
That could have been very much it. They didn't know what to do, so they wanted it to
go away.
Just
disappear. And also from their community, I'm pretty sure they didn't want people to. You know what I mean? Because I think
it's I put my kid in that situation.
Yeah, right. And so I think parents just swallow your pride. Believe your child until proven, otherwise, and I appreciate you sharing that though. 'Cause that's hard. I mean, that's
It's all about helping other people.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for sharing that.
But so you never dealt with any addiction though. That's okay. Interesting.
But you're right. Trauma is trauma.
Trauma is trauma. And you have to deal with it, or it's going to come back to you in the ass at some point in your life. And you got to deal with it. You got to go to therapy.
It really does. Yeah, mine slapped me in the face at 21 years old and hit me like a ton of bricks.
I really firmly believe, too, that until you've really gotten to know your trauma and gotten to know every way of yourself, you truly cannot love yourself.
It's true.
Until you've really gotten to know the good, the bad, the ugly, the child in you. Until you've really just sat with your own shit long enough to get comfortable, you really cannot truly love yourself and care for yourself if you don't get to know who you are.
And I actually have this, it's a picture that one of those two people that babysat me when I was younger, I have a picture of myself that they took that I look at. It's on my fridge. And anytime I'm like, God, Natalie, you've done this, you've done that, you're feeling bad about myself, I'm like, I'm talking to that little girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is who you're talking to. Yep.
Who, in a way, as an adult, you can look back and say deserve better.
Yeah.
Deserve better. And it's okay to say that. It's not shaming your parents. It's not. It's just being honest.
They didn't know. They didn't know.
Right. And
they didn't have the resources that we have now.
Yeah, because I feel like with therapy, it's like you don't have to be this hugely traumatized person to benefit from therapy. I think therapy comes along as like there's curiosity leads to understanding. A deeper understanding leads to healing. It's like I don't know. I can better process it if I know why I act this way.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, you have to be just stay curious about your healing.
One of a therapist I worked with for a very long time had a great metaphor for therapy. And like you said, you don't have to necessarily have a lot of trauma that is really deep and sad and scary and ugly for therapy to be beneficial. You think of it as like, all right, you have a toolbox, and when you go to therapy, you're going to get a new tool to help you navigate life easier, better, healthier because of the tools you have in your toolbox that you get from therapy. And that's whether it's trauma, whether it's something in the future, like therapy is just filling that toolbox.
The more things,
full of tools.
Yeah, the more tools you have, the more things you can fix.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So
Yes.
you know,
My toolbox saves me all the time.
yeah, 'cause
really
you learn
does.
coping strategies and stuff. So, but I think you know, it's almost like looking at yourself like you're like an outside experiment. I'm so curious on why my brain does this. Why does that trigger me?
Yeah, why do I react?
Why do I react this way? Where's the power being held here? Like if it wasn't for me being curious, I would have started therapy.
Yep.
But I just knew, I was like, Tyler, why do you do this?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know?
How do I
Like,
figure me out?
Yeah, figure myself out. Help me, you know?
Yep.
Need help figuring out myself, my mind.
Yeah, it's a conscious decision you have to make.
Definitely.
As an adult.
Yep.
And I also feel like a lot of adults need to just take more accountability for not being curious enough. Why are you not curious enough? Don't you want to know more about who you are, so that way you can raise little kids and help them know better who they are? And it's like, it has a ripple effect. I mean, you know,
It does.
so
It does.
Yep.
yeah. Therapy.
Yes, therapy. Your mental health matters.
Yeah.
100%.
You
100%.
matter.
Yeah.
Therapy has helped me, you know, put some generational traumas, stopped it in its tracks, you know? So
And there's still some people who don't believe in generational trauma, which is mind-blowing to me.
Me
because
too.
I can literally name things off the top of my head that has been carried down from generation to generation in my family.
It's insane. Like, and like I said, it can be. It doesn't always come in a like really clear. There's something wrong here.
Yeah, or the exact same.
Yeah,
thing.
because honestly, it's like I know a lot of people who grew up, like I said, a beautiful family, great house, awesome parents, and there's shit that happened.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
and it's like, yeah, I just feel like you can't ever. You have nothing to lose from going to therapy.
That's a
You have
fact.
nothing to lose.
That
you have
is a
only
fact.
everything to gain. So learn about your damn self. You know?
I did too, so I wanted to know, like, where can people find your guys' podcast? How can people listen?
Instagram,
Any of the
wherever you
podcast
download podcasts.
app. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah,
Spotify,
and then,
everywhere. Apple.
I appreciate you guys hopping on here. I feel like, you know, we started off really fluffy and then shit gets really deep and we gotta fluff, you know what I mean? Like, that's how conversations go with us.
I kind of feel like
You
this
know?
was kind of therapeutic, though.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
But
Telling your story is therapeutic.
Definitely.
it is. But I just want to say thank you because, I mean, you don't really know us and that's, you know.
I try to be as open
Hard.
as possible because I know someone somewhere is relating to me right now.
100%. We say
And
that
that's
all the
why perfect partner.
Yeah.
See, it works. It works great because you got to have that. You got to have it.
The purpose.
Yeah.
time. And like I said, if you guys ever want to come on in or you want us to come on, let me know. Or you want to squash something, you know, you just hit
Definitely.
me up. You know, we'll figure something out.
I'll be sending some Michigan unsolved mysteries.
Yes, please,
you know,
yes.
and down
Yeah.
here,
Oh no. When I find that
100%.
out, I'm totally. I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, let us be a guest and let us like come
Yeah.
on and let's like. I want to get into some shit.
Yep, I'm going to be like, hey, can you find this address and please time this drive?
Okay. All right. Got it.
How many stoplights
I'm
are
on
there?
it. We'll make sure to film it from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
so you can see
Traffic
that.
light
Blue
at
water
5 p.m.
area will be good.
Yeah.
You know, we're in that little area.
Yeah.
You know,
Binoculars, a little hat, and the car.
Seriously.
Perfect. Definitely. No, it's been fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, no.
It's been awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Love you guys.
I love you too. Yay. You've been through a
Time, break
journey.
it down. We break it down.
Yeah. Damn, do we, huh?